become free at last. Because I come out from underneath, take a good look at me, cause I'm living my dream. And now I can see all I've achieved once I sat at the big table to be a teen made millionaire. I used to think that my life was about my journey, but then I found out it's bigger than me. So I invited myself to make an impact on humanity. That's when I wrote my sequence plan, and I followed the steps and took action. Now money flows to prosperity, and I'm taking the world with me, because I found the light in me that was flickering and slowly fading. But now I have a millionaire path to financially become free at last. Because I come out from underneath, take a good look at me, cause I'm living my dream. And now I can see all I've achieved once I sat at the big table. I believe, and now I stand tall when they say my name for millionaire roll call. And now I stand tall and live out loud, cause I deserve it all. Because I found the light in me that was flickering and slowly fading. But now I have a millionaire path to financially become free at last. Because I come out from underneath, take a good look at me, cause I'm living my dream. And now I can see all I've achieved once I sat at the big table to be a teen made millionaire. I'm 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 a teen made millionaire.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. You are in the best place you could possibly be. So hello to everybody. I see people from all over the place. Philly, Massachusetts, California, all over the place, coast to coast, Arizona, look at that, Michigan, people from all over. Hey guys, my name is Randy Tate, and I'm going to be here with you for this morning part of the session to introduce Loral, help Loral out as she needs help. I'm a good friend of the community, member of the community, and very, very happy to be here. And I always, when I get the opportunity, I take 2 hours out of my normal day to come spend it with you guys and to support and help Loral and this community. It is a fantastic community. Now, I know we're all experts on Zoom, but before we jump in, I think, Steve, you like to jump on here and give everybody some tips how to make sure you can maximize your Zoom experience and get the most out of what you got going on. So Steve, you want to share quickly with us?
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Randy, for that awesome introduction. Those of you that are attending here with us live right now on Zoom, to get the best experience possible, I want you to do a couple of things. If you're on your computer, you're seeing this green bar at the top that says you are now viewing Integrated Wealth Systems Screen Share Screen. Right next to that is a little drop-down menu. And if you hit View Options, there's two things that are going to make this a better experience for you. Hit side-by-side mode, which will put the slides to the left-hand side and the video panel in the middle, and then it'll populate your participants panel and your chat panel to the right. Also, if you're seeing the slides zoomed in or maybe cropped off, hit Fit to Window underneath that View Options menu. That'll shrink the slides down so that way you can see the slides to their full frame. Now, those of you that are on an iPhone or a tablet or some type of a mobile device, your experience is going to be a little bit different. You're going to have to swipe left to right to be able to see the screen and then also the video participants panel. Also, if you want to get to the chat, you have to hit more, which is usually the 3 little dot menu. Hit more, you'll be able to jump into the chat. Now, those of you that are out there listening in on the live stream, whether that's on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, if you want to join us live, simply go to the description, click the link, you'll be registered to the event, and you'll get our live Zoom link to jump into the event. We are only going to be doing a quick sneak peek live to you for the next hour. So if you want to join into the event for the full day and then also get us into the marketplace, I definitely recommend you hit that link in the description to register and join us live. Other than that, let's go ahead and go back to you, Randy.
All right, thanks, Steve. Luna. I know we know everybody we think the world's of experts at Zoom now, but it's always good to get a refresher, and some people may not have done it so much yet. So thank you. So I'm going to introduce Loral here in a second, but before I do that, I want to set the stage up for you guys. This is the integrated wealth systems. That's where we're at. Okay. And you're in the Millionaire intensive marketplace. So you guys once you guys know where you're at and what to expect. So all of the words describe it. Integrated, meaning working together. Wealth, this is all about your money. And systems is meaning there's a process, which we all know that's what Loral does better than anything. Now, this particular event, as part of that, is the Millionaire Intensive and Marketplace. Let me give you a few pointers on how to be very successful over the next couple of days. 1, participate. So let's do a test right now. We're going to participate, and I'm going to check in the chat here. Put in a yes or a no. Would you be interested in making some money over the next 2 days while you're here? Yes or no? Let's see if we can put, hey, there we go. We got a participating group, Loral. This is going to be good. They all yeses. Good, then you're in the right place. So that's number 1. Number 2 is you're going to learn things differently than you've probably learned in the past. You will find some new stuff. Some might overlap, but there's just going to be some new concepts for you. It is not a magic wand. Loral is great, but she does not have a magic wand. She can't just boink you on the head and say, poof, you're a millionaire. Doesn't happen. However, what she does have is a system. She has a system that integrates for the creation of wealth. It's extremely important that you get that through this whole time. And I'm going to ask you to do one thing. And then we're going to watch this short little video and we're going to get Loral out here. But I'm going to ask you to do one thing first. I'm going to ask you to put away the need to be right. Put it away. What do you mean, Randy? Don't be right. What I mean is don't be right. You're going to hear something, whether it's from a coach, whether it's from your strategist, whether it's from Loral, whether it's from me or one of the other folks, experts around here, Jason, Eileen, who knows? And when you hear it, it might not resonate with what you think you know. Instead of saying that's wrong, that's not how I do it, I want you to just change that talk track to that's interesting. I'm curious as to how they see it like that because it doesn't make sense to me. And then go seek to understand. If you can conquer that, you will learn a whole bunch in the next 2 days, and you will learn how to make some money. Lastly, don't get caught up in, oh, I already know all this. If you're someone that's sophisticated, you're out there, you're investing, you're part of it. No, this is just one segment of this community. This is the beginning part of what we do, because this community stands for 3 things. You got to make money, you got to keep the money you make, and then you got to invest the money and put it to work. And everything we talk about is one of those 3 things. Maybe you've got your own cash machine, you got money piling in like crazy. You don't need to learn that. You got that handled. Well, okay, hang on a second. We'll get to the keep money and we'll get to the invest money as well. So you need to be aware this is a process. There is a system. So that's my 5-minute introductory spiel. Before I actually formally introduce Loral, I would like to show you guys a little short 2-minute video, a little bit about her for those of you that don't know her fully. Steve, please play. And go. Video's not playing. Oh, here.
Every small business owner has to have a mentor. A mentor is someone who has walked the path before you. So their job, I think, and I've had mentors since I was 17. That was just a few years ago. If you have the intention of becoming an entrepreneur and making money and getting wealthy, then you form your corporation right now. Instead of focusing on what you can't have and the struggles, you focus on what you can have. And so like the illegal conversations I say at home is you don't say what you can't afford, you say, well, how can we afford it? I mean, last I checked, and I always say this kind of funny, but Christopher Columbus did not discover America so we could have jobs. I mean, he discovered it for entrepreneurialism, for freedom, and we have lost it. We lost it from, generations have lost it. It is time to bring spirit back. I mean, that's where the money's made. I want to be a millionaire, and I'm going to change my choices, my way of living, and really get in action around creating that for myself and my life. The traditional financial planning world doesn't work if you really want to be wealthy. The traditional financial planning world is designed that you maybe stay stable. It designs you to make less as you get older. Hi, this is Loral Langemeier, the Millionaire Maker. I want you to follow me on Instagram. Make sure you turn on your post notifications so you get all my messages. What we talk about in the Millionaire Maker is money makeovers and how do you really recreate? Most people are focusing on debt. What we want you to focus on is creating more. I'd say 80% of my coaching that I do one-on-one with folks is about their psychology and the way they think. You know, you can run from creditors, but you can't run from your credit score. You really have to get your money working for you. Most people don't know how to invest. They're investing poorly. They're in single-digit numbers. Millionaires don't do that.
All right. So I'm going to give her the formal introduction now, and then let's give her a big round of applause. Loral Langemeier is a 5-time New York Times bestselling author. It's important that you understand that. 5 times New York Times, not 5 times Amazon. Big difference, huge difference. If you don't know it, Google it, there's a difference. She does have a formula. She does have a program. She does have a system for turning you into a millionaire. However, it only works if you participate. You engage, you commit to learn, you commit to be coached, you commit to do what you're being asked to do. If you don't, it won't happen. So put your hands together, give a little clap in front of the screen, get her out here and have her come up and start chatting. Loral, it's all yours.
All right, here we go. All right. So thank you. And Randy Tate, I just want to give you a huge introduction. So Randy and I have traveled 6 of the 7 continents. We haven't been to Antarctica together. Teaching 3 Days to Cash was actually the main show. Towards the later years before COVID, it shifted to off Wall Street assets, but we've been teaching millionaires, millionaire strategies, how to make money. There's really 4 components of becoming a millionaire: how to make it, how to keep it, how to invest it, and use a team. And no one knows how to put this team together. I was introduced to it with the Rich Dad Poor Dad group, and I'll be sharing with that in a moment. But let's jump into the event. Today is called the Millionaire Intensive. Like Randy said, know where you are. So what we're doing in the Millionaire Intensive is setting up what does it take to be a millionaire. Now, we'll be talking a little bit about the latest book, which was a Wall Street and Barnes & Noble, Amazon big bestseller. We didn't quite hit the New York on this one, but it was a political reason. So that was fascinating. Either way, we've been making millionaires as a community because it's not just me. I coined the word team-made millionaire years and years ago, because it takes a team and it takes a tribe to raise a family, run a company, and make a lot of money. So you're going to learn how to make it mostly here. The Millionaire Intensive's job. So this morning, we're going to set up what it takes to become a millionaire. Make, keep, invest with the team. Then we're going to move into how do you really grow your biggest asset. I think one of the best assets you could ever grow for yourself is your own company. All right. Now I've invested, I'm a real estate millionaire. I've done a supplement company to millionaire status, a recycled glass company. I've done all sorts of gas and oil. So I've done other industries, but this one, the one that you want your passion and your purpose to be behind, you could make millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars done right. So this afternoon, we're going to shift to database. You say, why database? Without a database, how are you going to monetize the people who follow you? And then we're going to move into your funnel, your prices, what's your offer, and get you ready at 4 o'clock to go into a marketplace. And then you're going to go from about 4 to 6 o'clock. So you'll be here today from about 10 till 6, those of you who want to make money. Some of you, as we get into our conversation, may decide that you want to jump on with the strategist before that and have a bigger conversation. So Randy, let's go to the next slide really quick, Steve. And just so we get this one out of the way, like my lawyer says we have to do, and we need to do, because the problem is most people are so uneducated around business and finance. My son just graduated with a finance and an accounting degree, bachelor's program out of Georgia, Georgia Southern, and now in a master's of accounting, and says, still to this day, we say, Mom, what you teach in practical application for marketing, sales, cash flow, how to run a company, how to do due diligence on alternative investments, it's not taught. Right? Theory's taught, and how to become a darn good employee is what's taught. So it's fine, it has its place. But the conversation we're going to have is the and. So if you're employed and you need to still make some more money. So Randy and I are going to dig really deep into that this morning, set up the Millionaire Intensive. And we are going to give you only education. We are not giving you advice. What happens when you have a license is you get a limitation to the conversation. So I don't know, Randy, if you want to add into that, that's the way I'm describing, a lot of times as we've been moving into the pro athlete coach's wives space, and well, I have somebody like you. It's like, no, you have an advisor, not an educator. And there's a big difference. An educator, we're gonna apply practical knowledge, day-to-day behavior. How do you pay bills now that you have a company or a trust, or you have a variety of other assets? How do you do your best deductions? How do you actually do it in a practical term is the conversation we're gonna have, and really glue it together. And it might sound like advice to you because we have a lot of experience. Randy, what else would you add to that?
Yeah, Laurel, it's not advice. It's more like examples of what we know to be successful. There is a format, the cart before the horse thing. You got to understand which one comes first and in what order. And then how you do it is up to you. That's the key distinction there. Learning the process, learning the systems is not advice. It's just a known formula. You have to go execute it yourself. I want to be clear on that.
Absolutely. While we're here, though, I'm going to introduce another expert who will be jumping in. And so, Jason, don't feel like you have to have some permission, but Jason is part of our expert team as well. And when you come all the way into our community, join what's called the Big Table, and we'll tell you about that more. You will get to know more and more experts. We have about 28 experts in the financial and business marketing sales space here to help you make money, keep money, invest money, and do it with the team. So Jason, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everyone. As you can imagine, I have been to a lot of these marketplaces, and the value that I find in coming again and again and again is one, repetition. Spaced repetition helps me to learn more. And also the fact that Randy and Laurel occasionally will go off script, if you will, and they drop gems all the time. It's amazing to be around them. So I'm really happy to be here. Yes, I'm an expert, and I hope that sometime I'll get to talk to every one of you on an individual basis.
Absolutely. Eileen, give a little wave out there too. Eileen's another expert in our community, and we have quite a group out here. So our team will be continuing to be texting and emailing to get more and more people here. The more people here by 4 o'clock for the marketplace, the graduates will be invited back. So Andrew is out, will be supporting through the marketplace. He'll be also inviting all the graduates from the past 2+ years of people to be in a big marketplace from 4 to 6 today. And then 10 to 3, you're welcome to come now. Last show, we do this show every 3 weeks, where we teach on Thursday and then we do marketplace on Friday. We had a woman, Veronica, make over $3,200. So real money's made. We've had the most made was a guy, Rick. He made $21,000. Another girl, a contractor, GC out of Colorado, changed and completely opened up her offer to different projects she would have never taken before she met us, and made $19,000. And some of it was contracted for cash. And we're going to talk about how you do all this. See, cash is right in front of you. Being an entrepreneur is right in front of you. But when we're trained to be such an employee-focused society, and it's a worldwide issue, you focus on, if I need money, I got to have another job. Well, you're never going to hear any of that from here. We're the Millionaire Maker team. We are not the stay safe and small and live within your means team. If you want something, make the money and go buy it and have whatever you want, the way you want. There is a principle we live by here. It's called, so what, now what? So what things have happened to you? Now what do you want to do about it? You know, people take on being a single parent like it's a victim. Oh, I was divorced and now I'm a single mom or dad. So what? I started parenting as a single mom. Like I chose it. 34 years old, well, 33 when I got pregnant. That I'm going to be a mom. He didn't want to be a dad. And so away we went. And so I want you to take on your life in a new way, in a more positive way of have what you want, design what you want, because you can and you're worth it. And for you women, we got to push in the because you're worth it conversation, because a lot of you think you have to do it all yourself and that asking for help, men, is weak. Nothing's for the truth. Whoever asks the most questions and asks for the most help gets the best mentoring at the right time will win. So let's go on and jump in. This is really what the principle that we teach at the core of the Millionaire Maker. So we're going to go to the next slide, Steve, is own nothing, control everything. You talk about the ultimate Rockefeller conversation, and they are the family from 1933 when the 7 families went to Jekyll Island, designed the financial system, a lot of the systems that we have lived through, which then formed the industrial age, which formed schools, like it all got started, right? So the Rockefellers have done it the best, where they own nothing, they control it all, and they have done this for generation after generation after generation after generation. For those of you, I want you to do a quick save the date. October 26, 27, 28, we are doing a generational wealth conference where we are going to on boards and draw this out. How does this really happen in a family's life? And you can say, well, I don't have enough money for this to happen. That's not true. That's your story. You just don't know how to begin and don't know how to get it going. And for those of you who already amassed a little bit of money and you have adult kids in their 20s, 30s, 40s, are you really handing millions of dollars to an uneducated, no conversation in the family, and you're going to let them inherit money? Or are you going to design a legacy? And there's a big difference. So we're going to be describing that. So again, we have rented the Grand Ballroom at the Grand Sierra. So I expect all you experts to be there. 26, 27, 28, very different event. First time ever put on. And I really believe the first one ever probably seen in the nation to the level that this thing's going to be put on. It's going to be phenomenal. And we're going to dig totally into this. For today, we're just going to give you a little snapshot. Randy, what else would you want to say about this?
Well, this is the foundation. This is this. I don't know if you want to call it a secret because we're trying to tell everybody but this is how the wealthy world goes around. The wealthy world is controlled by people who don't own anything. They don't own it. And so what I mean by that is you set up structures and you set up foundations and formations of entities and trusts that you, in fact, control, but you personally don't ever own. 1, it protects you from liability. That's the easy place to go. 2, it allows you to keep more of the money. And then if you invest through that vehicle, you get to keep more of the money and make more money. You know, I run a software company. I'm the CEO of a software company. I'm a perfect example of what to do out of this community. It's a C corporation. That C corporation, my shares in that company as a founder are held in, guess what? My trust. So there's layers of protection and there's layers of tax that's protected. And as you exit the world and you want to leave your legacy, this is how you structure it so that generation after generation after generation can continue to make money. One of the beauties of our system, it's a beautiful thing. Once you get the money will make the money. And then the money will make the money. You hear Loral talk about lazy assets all the time. This is a lot about getting off your lazy assets and getting them to work for you because they need to be working. I'm not going to spoil all the thunder because this is what's coming, but I just want to tease you a little bit. There is a way, a simple way for you to control everything without owning anything.
And we're going to help you step by step put that together. And the Millionaire Maker, which you all had at least 3 chapters, if not the whole book, by signing up for this event. And if you don't have that, Andrew or Steve, if you want to put back in, you know, some of their pre-work and the pages for and the links for the pre-work, go grab the Millionaire Maker. We're going to talk about many of the principles in there this morning as we set you up to even start understanding. I mean, it's amazing the lack of understanding or availability of people not knowing what's accurate. It's shocking to me how many people older in their 60s, 70s, 80s haven't had any great team or advice, and they think a will is going to keep them out of probate. Like the misunderstandings and the misinformation on this lovely thing called the bathroom wall. I call the internet the bathroom wall because anybody can say anything about anybody out here without any, direct interface. And then you spend, your time understanding it and doing due diligence. And Randy and I talk a lot about, the internet is not necessary. It's an interesting place to kind of look people up and check it out, but it's not a truth-telling place. There's no validation of what's being posted or not out here. So as you are, building your wealth and building what you're going to be doing, we're going to be educating you the whole way through. I mean, the Millionaire Maker is not just about the strategy to do it. It's also the team, your communication, your privacy, all sorts of things that will be layering in as you take a step forward and say, yeah, this is the life I want to live. See, if you've worked in the past with like a Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Dave Bach, a lot of what I call the traditionalists. I mean, their job's to get you cleaned up, get out of whatever nasty debt situation you did to yourself or credit card situation, and get you stable. But at stable, they end. Like, now you're stable. That's it. Like, I took from there and I'm like, we're the next layer. So I'm in the Rich Dad Poor Dad camp, Keith Cunningham, Bob Proctor, Mark Victor Hansen, all those guys, the Ziegler family, Brian Tracy. A lot of those are older names. Yes, I know Grant Cardone. I know Gary Vee. Like, we're all in the same conversation about abundance and wealth, right? Kevin Harrington and I've been partners in the past. Bob Proctor and I've been partners in the past. And I'm not name dropping. I'm just telling you, there's a philosophy that a lot of you don't understand. There's two big ones, right? It's to stay safe and stable, or it's to grow and become a millionaire, multimillionaire, billionaire. Like, let's get moving. You got to pick a path though, and you got to live those principles. You can't combine principles. And I think for a lot of you, you've been in what I call that old, safe and stable conversation. And now you're hearing millionaire principles going, oh my gosh, Loral says I should have credit cards. I should have good debt. I need to do these things. For a lot of you, you're scared of it because you don't understand it. So I want you to change your thinking. And like Randy said, I want you to be curious. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, that's scary. No, say, that's interesting. Right? So let's go to the next slide where we talk about being interested or committed, because your attitude and energy throughout the day is going to set the tone for not only your decision-making about your life, your decision-making about your next step today. What are you going to sell in the marketplace? How much money are you committed to make? Are you scared to set a goal in the marketplace and say, I'm going to make $2,000 when I'm here, and then go do it? Or is setting a goal, even if that like small magnitude, something that's scary to you because you don't trust yourself to produce? Right. So we're going to keep you very active in the chat. And interested versus committed. So interested is wandering around the internet, staying on TikTok or, Instagram or Twitter, Snapchat, whatever you do, staying on social media, hanging out, but not monetizing. Like, there's no focus of your brain to monetize. So I want you to think about what I'm going to be doing, what our team's going to be doing is accelerating your money muscle. Because right now you don't think about money. You think of, money, you think job. I'm going to say money. I'm an entrepreneur. What service and product can I provide so I can generate more cash? Right? When I bought my private airplane, I didn't say, oh my gosh, Loral can't afford it. I said, company, we need to make an extra 40, 50,000 a month so we can enjoy flying in a private aircraft with all of our gear and equipment and travel, week after week after week to do the shows when we were on the road. So it's not I can't afford it. It's I'm going to afford it. And how do you do it? So I need your money muscle to get turned on during this event and get committed to this conversation. If you're interested, you can hang out, but most people that are interested don't succeed. Randy, what else would you say about it? It's so critical that we start the context of the undertone of the energy, call it your mindset about money, is committed. And that's no matter what, I will win.
You just said it, no matter what. You think of it like this. When you want to know if you're committed or not, and you get a phone call and it's just someone you did to chit chat with, and you mute yourself, turn your camera off, and you go in the room and talk for an hour, come back and see what's going on, that's interested. If you can push wait, I'll call you back, something like that. The idea behind being committed means you're going to do whatever it takes legally to get it done. You stay within the law to get it done. You want it bad enough to get it done, and you're willing to not be right. You're willing to be coached. You're willing to move and do things you're uncomfortable doing. The biggest one for many of you is going to be, they're going to teach an exercise later today called Ask, Tell, Ask. You're going to be asked to have a conversation and speak to somebody in a certain manner. You're going to resist with all your might to do it. That means this is just interesting. If it's committed, you're just going to swallow, gut it up, and you're going to do it. And you might not like it, and it's not all fun, but it's all in service to what you claim you want. And if that's true and you're committed, this is where you'll find it.
You know, one of my favorite auditions on, I think it was American God's Talents, was this young boy who came out there and he started singing. He was all nervous. And one of the judges went up there and comforted him, and then he sang the song that says, "The time is now is the time for my dreams to be heard," or something like that. I don't remember the real title, but he really sang it with, "It's now, today, this event is the time for your dreams to be heard. And you're the first one that needs to hear your own dream. This is a vehicle. This is an opportunity for you to do that." And then that's going to require some commitment, yes, that Randy's talking about, yet there is a reason you're here. And you should be very grateful that you're here. I'm excited that you're here. It's time for your dreams to be heard.
I like that. Thank you for that, Jason. It is time. And let's talk about who this is for and not for. Steve, let's move to the next slide. And the reason we put this in is because we've had folks that sometimes are higher level come and say, well, I already have a business. Like my business is already in 6 figures or even 7, sometimes 8. Like this seems too low level. Remember, this is a free introductory event. I will go to the next slide for those of you, or we'll be talking about moving up to a VIP status and what that can mean for you. But right now, this is our introduction. This is us explaining that there's a different conversation in the world. You know, Rich Dad Poor Dad probably did the best job of shifting it. The Millionaire Next Door was out actually before that, started shifting it, and then it's just gone to the next level, and it's just been accelerating with more and more people being in this conversation. So if you are already someone who's in those levels, I can promise you, you're still going to learn a ton. Like Jason said, I don't know how many times Jason or Eileen, you guys have been on this show, at least what, 20 each, 30 each. Randy's been here. I mean, I don't even know how many times we've done it. I mean, when COVID hit in March 7th, 2020, I remember getting off a plane from Houston and 29 events canceled. And so we were the first to Zoom within the next week. And we were there almost every day helping you figure out what to do when the world kind of shut down around money and nobody knew what to do. And some people totally destroyed their credit and hurt themselves, really bad. And those that really paid attention and leaned in and learned and shifted their behavior and their spending around money and they're making money, they won. So we've lived through a lot of economies. Now we get add a pandemic to it all. We've lived through recessions. We've lived through all sorts of events. So those of you that, I think this is an event for everyone, but some of you that say, well, I'm really here because I need tax strategies. I need better alternative investment rules. I need better deal structure. I need to raise capital. This is still for you. You don't understand why. But I do want to, for those of you who feel like you're higher level and you don't want to be in a marketplace and which I still don't understand because you need to build a database no matter who you are at what level. So you're always going to hear me say this is for everyone, but I'm giving you guys an out, those of you who say, this is a lower level or lower conversation. And then I'm going to ask you to prove it and that you're all set up and perfectly tidied up with perfect corporate compliance, trust, insurance, credit's perfect, and everything's ready, then you're really ready. Because a lot of you say you're ready and you're missing a lot of foundational pieces. So there's 2 people that have been assigned to you through this event. You've been assigned to either, Jim, who's out there. James, I think he's going by Jim. He's out there as well as Laura, who's been our strategist. So those 2 are your lead strategists. We have a whole team here in our Carson City office in Northern Nevada, also supporting you. So if at any point, Steve, Kristen, Chrissy, Lavelle, Dan, Terry, we've got a whole team here. Put in the office phone number. So if anybody has questions or said, I just like to talk to a strategist and, have a conversation, you are always available for any of those conversations. But what I would say for sure who this event is for is those of you who need to make more money. And those of you who have been entrepreneurs for a while and you haven't cracked your first 6 figures. And honestly, if you haven't cracked your first 7 figures, there's still some what I call foundational and structural issues. I call it your financial infrastructure that's broke. Something's not working or you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time. I call that sequencing. And it's one of the distinctions I made when I wrote The Millionaire Maker, is when you do the right thing in the right time, in the right sequence around money, you create momentum and you start the compounding power of money and team and growth. And a lot of you're chopping at it and you're doing it wrong. So you have a lot of pieces right, but it's just not flowing. So how many of you are committed and are here to stay and jam with us? So say yes in the chat. We're going to keep it interactive. And Randy, I'll be asking you more and more questions. How many of you are, yes, you know you're in the right place now that we talked about what we'll be doing? All right, we got a great room building and we are well done, team. We are about to 80 people. Our goal is to get it to about 100 people and then keep them through the marketplace, because the more people that are out in the marketplace, which by the way, if you looked around your town, that's a marketplace. But I want you to think about how you think about it. A lot of you, you're so employee focused and it's me, me, me. So you get up, you do your thing, you go to your job, you come home, and you barely get you through your day, much less being able to put your head up and say, what else is going on in this community? What products or services this community need, right? And I'm going to say the world need, that you could serve them and become a darn good entrepreneur, like an amazing entrepreneur. Everyone needs more in the product or service category. So what is it that you provide? I provide money, business, finance, foundation, right? Any conversation money, we are your resource. So what do you do? So now I want you to switch gears. What are you an expert in? Put that in the chat, just so we start seeing what kind of people we have out here in the room. So one word, no big paragraphs. Like, I'm an expert in money, right? Eileen's an expert in credit. Right? Jason's an expert in insurance. What are you an expert in? Randy, anything you want to add to that? And let's head to the next slide.
Yeah, no, that's something you got to get really comfortable with. What do you do in a sentence? What are you an expert in? And if you're not an expert in it, you need to become an expert in it if it's something you want to do. You don't say, well, I teach singing lessons, but I'm a terrible singer and I don't know how to sing, right? It's important. Taxes, capital, excellent. Real estate and financing, life coach, dance instructor, Airbnb, investment and insurance. Nice.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Next slide.
All right, next slide, Steve. We are also about the committed. Can you guys click out there? There we go. So as you commit, you're going to get, I'm going to say, the opportunity to have what we call a virtual swag bag. So we don't really put a price on this because 3 of the top things that are listed right there are not available. Those conversations only happen at the big table, which is our mastermind and mentoring program. We've been doing that since 2001. We're the longest standing mastermind and money program in the world. A lot of people have, come and gone, but we have stood the test of time through many ups and downs in the economy and the pandemic and all of that. The top 3 things, again, taught at the big table is high ticket sales. How do you close big tickets? I teach that. Randy then has taken a business plan that I wrote around 2003 and really expounded on it. How do you build an operational business plan? And what are the steps you can do that in a very quick 4 hours? Martha has been with us since 2003. Has entrepreneurial leadership training that she does when you become a member of the table. So these have been experts with us for a very long time. You only get those conversations when you're there. And then we're going to give you the plus, right? The my best-selling library. The only thing still not in there and won't be in there probably till at least 2023 is this. If you need a copy, we'll give you the link. If you've not bought the Make Your Kids Millionaires book and why you need that, we'll talk about that later. This is now what I'm going to call a classic because Bob has passed. Expression of Your Power. It's 8 hours with Bob and I on how to change your entire relationship to money and the details of how to do it.
Totally
and then,
awesome.
It's so good.
Expression of Your Power is totally awesome. I love it.
What did you learn in there? Because it is very, very different.
Oh, the story sequence that you talk about, the story loop, that really hit home for me. It's kind of like you get caught up in this thing in your head and you're going all around and around and around and you're stuck in a circle, and learn how to break that story cycle to go on to better and bigger and better things. That was important to me.
Well, and I think for a lot of you, now I'll deepen that a little bit. Is a lot of you have a narrative, it's kind of some new languaging around it. Like you say the same thing and, you're around people and they're in the same conversation that they were a year ago or the year before. There's nothing new in their life, right? There's no engagement. There's no expansion. And there's places you get stuck. because you have a narrative and a story and a way of thinking that is completely different, which is why mentoring and masterminding and having people really watch you play and really give you feedback. And I noticed this is working, this isn't working. You've been working on that for a while, that's not working. And then we're very data centric, which is why we're going to talk about databases, because we need you to have data to analyze what's really working, what's not working. And then we don't have any real estate tours planned for the rest of this year, but we will be putting a few in next year. And you will get a ticket for one of those field trips, which we've been doing since 2001, is taking people on field trips to different businesses. So this is available to you. We call it priceless when you do 3 things. So really, everybody pay attention. Ready? You got to do 3 things. Number 1, you have to stay here till 4 o'clock. You have to listen to me and our team. And again, I'll be on from about here till about noon. We're going to be talking about corporate life. Scott will be joining another expert. Then we'll be moving to databases. We'll be giving you a few breaks in there. After the database, we'll give you a little more of a longer break, and then we're moving to preparing for the marketplace, a marketing funnel, pricing, how do you contract cash, how do you do pre-orders, how do you do deposits, how do you do these techniques that a lot of people do naturally, but no one's teaching you how we make money so quickly. You have to attend 2 strategy sessions. So you'll be meeting Jim and Laura next, and they'll be talking a little bit about their sessions and why they're important. And you have to fill out your student profile. So many of you have already got this done. Steve, if you would put the profile in the chat. All of you, if you haven't filled out your profile, please grab that. And how do you buy the kids' book? You go to makeyourkidsmillionaires.com. We don't have a certification or teach it program yet, but we will be considering and talking. We are in conversation about getting that ready. So there you go. And there's your TMI guide. So let's go to the next slide. Meet the team, Laura and Jim. So when we say you're going to have a strategy session, I'm actually going to have you move to the next slide right away, Steve. They're going to be working on your profile, or what we call your gap analysis with you. Your gap analysis, this comes out of the Millionaire Maker book. It's what's your baseline, like where are you? And then what do you want? What's your freedom day? So where are you? What do you want? And then if you notice, the only thing we're going to be focusing on with you is how do you make more money? And how do you create more assets? See, the pattern of a millionaire is to make and invest money. It's not to make and spend. See, the safe and stable conversation and narrative is, how you make it, and how you spend it and live within your means. Why don't we just expand your income? You can buy whatever you want. You can buy as many assets as you want and become net worth millionaires. So make, spend is the old school. Make, invest is what we're going to be teaching you. And you say, well, what about debt? I mean, debt's a liability. What am I going to do? Well, you might have some bad debt. We're going to be teaching you how using good debt is probably going to make you a faster millionaire. I don't say probably, it's going to make you a faster millionaire. There were so many ways to arbitrage during the pandemic, and so many people didn't get the memo on how to properly use an EIDL loan or the PPP loan, like how all that worked. Most of you are so scared because of the way you were taught around debt, that debt's bad. And we're going to be teaching you how phenomenal. When you're done, when I'm done with you, you're going to love debt. So you'll be working through where you are, what you want. That's a strategist's job. Their job is to guide and navigate, right? And their job is to help understand your problem, what solution we have to fix it, and then get you started into your new solution. They are not going to tell you the answers. They are not your coach, nor are they in that conversation. So their job is to guide and navigate, help understand your problem, and give you the right solution for where you are with us. Because we have stuff as low as $17 a month with my Ask Loral membership, $399 a month to $35,000. So where do you want to begin and what do you need is what their job is in assessing you. So you do need to meet with them. So Laura, do you want to come live and talk a little bit about your session? And then Jim, I'll introduce you as well. Steve, if you want to bring them forward or co-host them.
Yep, you're all co-hosts. Just unmute and come live.
Laura or Jim. Hello.
Good morning, Loral. Can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. Looking forward to speaking with folks today, talking about how we can get you plugged in.
Absolutely. So Jim will be in the chat. So will Laura. Laura, are you out there as well? Might be-
Laura is on a call right now.
I'll be on a call. So we'll make sure we get her introduced. So what I'd like to do right now, while Jim's present, we have a team supporting, and we can go back through the chat, is if you do not have a strategy session set yet, put no in the chat. If you already have one, doesn't apply to you. We just want to know who has not set an appointment. And Jim and our team and Laura will be looking. There we go. I knew it'd be a bunch of people. So and Eric, you will have one with Kristen, Eric Richards. So, because you've come in that way, the rest of you, the team will be helping. So good. If you've had one, you'll have number two. And again, the other thing I'm going to do to wrap up the swag bags is once you have had 2 sessions, you've attended, because we obviously know you're in attendance now, and we know you have a profile. Kristen and Christy in the office will be the 2 that will be initiating sending them out to you. So if you want to go ahead and put their emails in the chat, Steve or Andrew, put Christy and Kristen, better yet, put the phone number. And this is, we're going to start teaching you leadership. So when you know you've completed those things and you maybe didn't get a swag bag in your inbox, then you call right into the office and say, I am ready and I want one immediately to be taken care of. So thanks, Jim. And there you can see all the no's. So when whoever you're assigned to, whether you're assigned to Jim or Laura, they will be reaching out on the direct message or calling or texting you to get you set up. So we make sure that that's going on around us as well. So the next slide is one of my favorite videos. I had a Georgia Southern tomorrow. Watch my son play football. It's football season, Randy. I'm a huge football mom. I was talking to my daughter's a beautiful dancer. And she's like, Mom, how come you're not excited about being the dance mom? I said, I think I'm going to get shirts that say I'm a mom of a dancer, not a dance mom. Anyway, it's a funny joke if you know what I'm talking about, because it's a real thing. So we're super excited. I trained the Georgia Southern football men, and now I'm going to go train the basketball men. And we're starting to do more and more teams to start this conversation. Can you imagine how many of you say yes would have liked this conversation, just a little bit you've heard, at like 6th or 7th grade? And not when you're an adult. And now you have to fix a bunch of stuff, right? Oh, it's unbelievable. So Steve, let's go to the next slide and let's talk about Steve Harvey's video. There's 3 phrases that we say over here. We say, are you committed? Have you jumped? And have you decided? So those are 3 themes that we're going to be talking to you a lot as we go through our day. And we've talked about being committed. It's no matter what. Now let's hear from Steve Harvey what he means by every successful person in the world has jumped. Steve, you can show the video.
Okay, here's the deal. If you want to be successful, here's the thing you have to do. You have to jump. There is no way around it. You have to jump. Every successful person has jumped. You got to jump. You got to take a leap of faith. You got to dash off that cliff, and you got to jump out there as far as you can. Now, a lot of times you stand on the cliff of life and you see other people soaring by, gliding down like a bird flying through the air. You know, they going over to the south of France. You see them on a boat somewhere. You see their family vacationing here, their family vacationing there. You see them dressing like this. You see them in New York, then you see them in London. They flying by. You know why? It's because their parachute open. But the only way to get your parachute to open so you can soar, you got to jump. Now here's the problem. Here's the problem, my friends. When you jump, I can assure you one thing. You listening? I promise you this. Your parachute will not open right away. No, that's the fear part. I promise you your parachute will not open right away. You're gonna hit them sides and them rocks. You're gonna tear your back out on them cliffs. You're gonna cut yourself. You're gonna get wounded. You're gonna get some tears and stuff like that. But eventually, the parachute will open and you'll be soaring. But here's the other caveat. Let me teach you this right here. If you do not jump, I promise you one thing. Your parachute will never open. So you're safe, but you'll never soar. You got to jump. I got to go.
So that's the committed part. That's the committed part. That's what we're talking about when we say committed. You also sometimes hear the phrase, you know,